Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to just do some kind of laid back trout fishing, but I am going to feature a new product. This is the Tsurinoya Master rod. It's a new BFS rod that Baitfinesse Empire is going to be carrying pretty soon. It's very similar to the Ares from my initial fishing that I've done so far. And I also have the Roro that 4.9 gram BFS spool inside the SLX BFS. So you'll be able to see a little bit of testing on both those products. So you want to see that in just some general brook trout fishing, keep watching. Also comment down below what else you want to see. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, the cosmetics, some differences is the trigger here is actually pretty nice. It's a lot smaller than the Ares. That's something I'm looking forward to. The cosmetics are actually really nice. I like the blue with the cross carbon. It does have a little bit more backbone too, so it's actually going to be good for when I do find a little bit bigger brook trout, or sometimes I'll be fishing waters that have some brown trout, and a random 20-inch brown trout, that Ares is just folded in half. So it's not a lot more backbone, but I think it's enough that I could really be decisive with like those 12-inch brook trout or so. So I'm going to get this out on the water and let's see how it goes. All right, so the lure I'm going to be using, this is the Jackson Matoria. It's a 45mm lure. It's quite dense. It's not super heavy, but it does hug the bottom quite well, and that flat profile helps it cut through the current quite well. I did put single hooks on here just because it's a little bit easier to come through cover, and there's a lot of logs and stuff, so that's what I'm going to be using. I'm using monofilament line 2. I'm using 4-pound Verivis Super Trout Advanced Sight Edition. I like to use this line in the springtime just because it's I can see it really good, and when the sun going down and a lot of rain and such, it extends your fishability actually a little bit. Ooh, did I just have a hit there? The rod's been casting pretty nice so far. I gotta turn my brakes down a little bit. But this rod and reel combination is actually really nice for being accurate. I forgot to turn my. I'll put my brakes on 4. There's no extra magnets or anything that you need with this spool. It has like a spool shaft if you've seen my other video, but it's very easy. It's a lot less cumbersome than messing around with those Avail magnets. Well, that's a nice little pocket right there. Oof. There goes one. And these brook trout around here, so there's a lot of grass cut out like along the bank, and that's where a lot of the brook trout are going to hide out too. So that felt good. Oh, got one right there. Oh, that's a nice one. Well, that's a nice fish. Dang. That's a really nice brook trout. This rod definitely does have more. Let me get away from that brush. This rod definitely does have more backbone than the Ares. Not, I wouldn't put it like in another class above it. Yikes. Well, that's a nice looking one. Dang, that is a nice one. So that lure came out right there. Well, that's a nice fish. Nice orange fins. It's like probably a 10-inch brook trout. Can't complain about that. Get a camera close up for you guys. Full of spunk. Oh, nice colors on that one. Let that one go. Whoop. But yeah, what I was saying is that the rod's really responsive too. The Ares was responsive, but the Ares was solid carbon. The blank itself weighed a little bit more, especially like you could feel it up here. So it's not as responsive. It's still more responsive than glass, but this is tubular graphite, and it's wrapped too with I think a little bit of almost like how like those Megabass rods have like the Yoloi. Ooh, I just had another hit right there. Let me get back over there. There we go. Yeah, I mean, ooh, come on. Oh, what came out? Let's see. Oh, look right in your pectoral fin there. There we go. So it's a silicone net with the single hooks is just a dream for unhooking fish. It keeps their slime on there. It's less abrasive than the stuff that looks like ropes, kind of like the corded things. Also, the barbs don't get stuck in the hook either. They get a good release. I mean, the rod's definitely pretty sensitive. I can feel that everything when I'm coming through here. I can feel when I'm on the gravel. I mean, of course, I can feel when a fish hits, but feeling that bottom content is, especially if you're fishing from further away, that can really put you on some fish or not. Like if you feel that you're going through muck, or you're feeling that you're going through sand or gravel, or coming across logs or whatever, it's. I'm going to get a little more daring now. It's come over the top of the log. A lot of times they're looking for stuff that's either coming over the top of the log or underneath the log. All right, now I'm going to try this buggy spinner. This is also made by Jackson. It's 3 grams. It's not that big, and it has a different clevis system. That way it reduces line twist. I'm not usually a big fan of spinners. If you ever watched a few videos on my channel, I don't really ever use them. But now, this one's supposed to reduce line twist and such, so I decided to give it a try, and it came with a single barbless hook as well. I mean, when I was younger, I used to use spinners all the time. Like either black and silver or black and yellow Panther Martins were my go-to. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to put this stuff in my pocket. That's it. It has a clevis up here, and also it's a ball instead of it being. So I'm going to see how well this works from getting line twist. That's actually a pretty stout hook on there too. I mean, it still flexes a little bit, of course, but it's pretty stout. Okay. I'm a big fan of using snaps, so I want to see how it works with a snap. So this might work better without a snap, but I like to be able to change lures on the fly. Take a couple rips down here. It is definitely nice to be able to have that green line so I can watch where my lure is doing. It's definitely different than fishing minnows, I can tell you that. It's not bad. It's not something I do a lot of. Yeah, right by these little cut banks are really nice. Oh, got one right here. That's a nice fish. Dang, that's nice. One of them sandy ones. Is that a brown trout? What the heck? That's a brown trout. I've never caught a brown trout here. What the heck? Oh baby, that's a nice fish though. That's weird. Okay, I fish this creek a lot in different sections of it. Oh, the fish just jumped up there. I've never caught a brown trout. That thing is crazy looking. I've never seen one like that, with the red fins and such. Alright, so kind of the halfway point, the rod actually been really nice. I really shouldn't have been fishing a spinner. I was just kind of curious to use it. I just recently got it, but the rod's been nice. It's been sensitive and definitely a little bit more backbone than the Ares. Of course, that's me kind of splitting hairs, but it does have more backbone and a little bit faster action than the Ares. So if you felt that you're a little bit underpowered throwing small jigs for trout with the Ares, you'll have a little bit more power with this, and especially now, of course, if you use braid, that'll help too. The transition from pitching to casting actually been really nice because of that small trigger that's on there. And the smaller handle, and it's very smooth back here, so even when I'm wearing a rain jacket like this, I mean, it slides very nice. It's not hindering my casting performance at all. So far, been really, really nice. I'm gonna test the sensitivity of some jigs coming up, so keep watching and comment down below what else you want to see with this rod. Yeah, that thing looks pretty tasty. It's just a generic like little weird grub body. It has a tungsten Eurotackle head on there. It's 0.9 grams. So that should look really appetizing for any sort of trout, especially after this rain. There should be a lot of unusual food for them in the river system, and brook trout just like to eat anything anyway. So this is really going to test the sensitivity of the rod with this jig, and also the castability of a lightweight like this for the spool. So I'm pretty excited actually to see that. There we go. Man, I haven't fished with a jig in a while. There we go. Jig fish. All right, let me unhook you. A T-bone that thing. That line wrapped up a little bit. Okay. Stop, stop, stop. All right, let me wet my hand real quick. I'm gonna have to grab you. There we go. No, and just like that. I mean, if they eat worms, they're gonna eat this thing. And look at that, ready to fish again. Now, tungsten definitely makes a big difference, I think, with when fishing like this, just because it sinks fast and it keeps its profile very small too for them, so when brook trout will come out and still hit it. All right, dream scenario right here. You got a little confluence up here, beaver dam. Ooh, yikes! That thing casted really nice. I was not expecting that. Put a little bit more force into it. Get a little bit of long range. Wow. I mean, that spool, there's no blow. Oh, come on. There's no blow up. There we go. Anything on there. Ooh, nice little brook trout. Oh, what the heck is up with him? It's like two-faced. Dang. That thing is crazy looking. Get a little camera shot on that guy. Look at him. That is a weird looking fish. Maybe he's just face up one way too much and he's camouflaged. I don't know. That's weird. Get your jaw out of there. Yeah, I don't know. Cool looking fish though. Pop. Yeah, that's weird. All right, so overall, I do think it's a pretty nice rod for that upper end of that budget level, and especially if you're gonna be fishing for a little bit smaller fish. I will try to get this out for some panfish, which I think it will do pretty good for smaller panfish. Open water, of course, we'll try to hook big panfish because it's fun. But no, the trigger, the biggest difference I think is that trigger and grip assembly. It feels really nice. And then also like just that little bit faster action and more backbone. I felt was a little bit better when I was fishing with those jigs. Versus the Ares, sometimes I had to like really put more force into the hook set. But other than that, if the Ares is discontinued, like which is rumored that's going to be happening, this is going to be a really good upgrade. It's going to cost a little bit more money, I'd assume. All right, for the spool as well, the spool performed really well, especially with that 0.9 gram jig head. I don't know how much the body weighs, so it's at no more than a gram and a half, and it was casting really well. The rod was kind of okay with it, but the spool I definitely did do a pretty good job. So if you like BFS trout fishing, be sure to subscribe and also hit the bell. That way you get a notification when I do an upload. And I try to tease an upload with a picture post on YouTube and also over on Instagram as well. So make sure you follow for those as well. Thanks for watching.